everybody? What's happening? And welcome to, we got another interview today on In My City. Today we have songwriter, vocalist, and the youngest member of the OJays, Mr. Eric Nolan, joining us today. You guys give him a round of applause. Let me add him in. Hey, there he is. He laughing at me. Don't you laugh at me.
A round of applause. I'm trying to hear the round of applause.
I know that's right. How are you?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I can't complain. There's never a reason to complain.
No, ma'am.
You are in your, and listen, I can't apologize to you enough. I'm so sorry. We discussed that off camera. So I won't I got my tail between my legs. I'm a little hurt by
Be
it, you know.
good. Be
Okay.
good. I'm
Well,
gonna make it
welcome.
work.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna make it work.
All right now. Listen, well, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to spend a little bit of time with me while I get a little bit in your business, just a little bit.
Go ahead, baby.
How have you been doing throughout the pandemic? How have things been going for you?
It's okay. So I'll say it's been going good because I'm healthy. My family is healthy. We haven't had no mishaps. We haven't had no COVID breaks or nothing like that. So in saying that, then yeah, I'm doing pretty good. But I still miss the guys. I still miss the stage. I still, miss going out and performing, in different cities and different states and out of the country. I miss that like crazy. But I had a lifeline, so uh, I have a new radio show. Well, it's new, but I've been on for a year now,
Mhm.
and actually ever since COVID. So that's been keeping me busy and keeping me in touch with people. You know what I mean, and keeping me in touch with music, and it's just taking the hanks off, man, so that those walls don't close in on me.
Yeah, I can understand that. Well, thank goodness for your good health. I know you I was reading where you definitely are taking this serious as you know some people aren't, and a lot of people don't take it serious until it hits home before they start taking this thing serious. And I've been reading that you definitely have been taking this serious, especially with the other members health and what they have going on as well. So that's what's up.
Absolutely, absolutely. We did a virtual concert December the 3rd, and I usually take a first class flight to wherever it is that I'm going, like if it's a long distance, you know what I'm saying? So going to Vegas was like 4.5 hours. So what I did was they didn't have any straight through flights. So what I did was I took I took Frontier. Oh Lordy, Lordy, Miss See, you already know. See, you
I
already
already know. That's like taking Spirit.
Ooh, Jesus. Greyhound on wheels. I took that. I took that, but I did that because I didn't want to. I didn't want to land in Atlanta or land in Chicago and take a chance on going through the airport. I wanted to get straight to Vegas, and I didn't want. I just didn't want to risk the chance on infecting the guys.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? By them being a little older, and I just, I try to take as much precaution as I can because I love those guys, and I don't want anything to happen to them, and especially on my account.
absolutely, absolutely. Your singing career started pretty early. Take me back to a when you first got started and you realized, man, I can sing. This is what I want to do.
Uh, let me say this. I just wanted to sing. I didn't know if I could really sing. I knew I wanted to. I knew I had the love for it, and I guess that might have started when I was about 4 or 5 years old. I think that's because when I was watching television. Michael started when he was like 5 or 6. I saw Michael Jackson. I saw James Brown, The Temptations, and believe it or not, I saw the Whispers. And I knew I wanted to do that, and I had a love for it. So I just started, dancing on my mother's table, and getting whoopings for doing that. And
Yes, because
and
you don't supposed to be on her good table now.
not,
You know
not on
that.
that table, not on that table, not with your shoes on. So I so about 5, 6 years old, I really wanted to sing. I've been tunnel vision about singing ever since then. I
Hmm.
never wanted to do anything else. Believe it or not, and believe it or not, what I did want to do, Miss Simmons, is if I didn't make it singing, this is gonna trip you out. If I didn't make it singing, I wanted to be a telephone installer. I wanted to install telephones in people's houses. I know it's totally love. I know it's totally love.
Listen, I wasn't
I
gonna say
swear.
nothing. We all got our dreams and goals, and you would have been the greatest daggone singing telephone installer ever.
But see, back because you remember back then, you used to have to climb up on the telephone poles that people put people's phones in. Back
Yeah.
then, they didn't have it like your do-it-yourself kits just now. Well, I would have been out of job, but I wanted to climb up. I wanted to climb those telephone poles and put people's phones in. That's what I wanted to do.
Seriously.
And look, I'm intrigued with that kind of stuff. I put a telephone in my mother's house. I put 5 phones in off of one telephone line. We had
What?
one telephone line in our house. I put in 5 phones,
Sheesh.
and
Goodness.
I didn't even go to school for it.
I know that's right. Well, goodness. Well, either way, you would have been successful. Either way.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you.
Now, you started background singing for one of the members of the Temptations, Dennis Edwards. How did you come about landing that opportunity?
I had a singing group in Cleveland called the Deltones, and we were. I was trying to figure out how we could make it in the business. So I went to a gentleman by the name of Dwight Chilius, and I wanted him to be our manager. But at the time when I wanted him to be our manager, he was Dennis Edwards' manager. So to keep us close to him, he said, "I tell you what, I want y'all to be a background singers for Dennis Edwards." Okay, so my group was the background singers for Dennis Edwards for a while, along with Miss Deborah Bird. And the other 2 guys was like, "Okay, look, that background singing thing, it didn't ran its course, man, because this is not what we signed up for. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
We want to be out front. We didn't sign up to be no background singers." I'm like, okay, well, look, I'm gonna keep doing it because the knowledge that I was getting, I mean, the stuff that Dennis was teaching me and what he was telling me, I knew I couldn't get that in the library. I knew I couldn't get that nowhere else. So I was like, well, I'm gonna stay. I said, well, yeah, you go ahead and stay then. Well, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna keep doing what we're doing. So I stayed with Dennis for 4 more years. I stayed with him
Wow.
for 4 more years, and I mean the stuff that he used to tell me and the things he used to just tell me about the business, about celebrities, and how to maneuver. I wouldn't have been able to get that nowhere else.
Oh no, that's that good knowledge. That's that one-on-one
Yeah,
knowledge. You can't learn, certain things you can learn in books and in school and stuff like that, but that's that good knowledge that only somebody who's experienced and in the business can give you.
right. So I stayed. I stayed with him for an extra 4 years.
Now, you have not, when did you start with the OJs?
95.
Okay, 95. Before then, you were working with the son, the late Gerald Levert, yeah?
Yes. Well, all of that was okay. Well, see, yes. Okay. To answer your question, yes. I was working. No, because it's a twofold question or answer. I was working with Gerald, but I wasn't in the camp. I was basically like a brother to Gerald. Me and Gerald had formed a union, and that was because of my group, the Deltones, because the Deltones was so what's the word when you popular here in Cleveland
Mhm.
that Gerald actually wanted that type of popularity that we had. So he formed a singing group because Gerald was a solo artist at first. Before he became a solo artist, he was a solo artist. And then he wanted a singing group. So he took his brother off the drums. He took Sean off the drums and took Mark off the keyboards. And those are only, people he really knew because Gerald wasn't no street guy. So he made them be a part of the singing group. So man, we were just gonna be a singing group. Well, Gerald and I, we hung out so tight, and I was poor. So, and they always had real food, real milk. They always had food in their house. So I used to go over there and eat all the time. And they had they had the real cereal. I had the
Good
cereal
stuff.
that said puffer wheat. They actually had what
They had the honey
they actually,
smacks. They had the real
yeah,
one with the
you know what
frog
I'm
on
saying?
the
They had
bottom.
the real one from Kellogg's. You know what I'm saying? I just had the big bag with the puffer wheats on it. So I used to hang around all the time. And so when he started writing music, I was with him. I was with him when he started writing. And so we formed that kind of bond, a brotherhood. And so that's what happened. And then when the father and son thing came up, it was real strange, Miss Simmons, because what happened was yeah, they were having a meeting on how to put the father and son show together.
Hmm.
And I actually came to the studio, and they allowed me to come into the meeting. They was like, well, Gerald and Eddie is back there having a meeting about the father and son tour. I said, okay, well, I'll come back later. They said, no, you family, you going on in. So I just went into the meeting. Like I mean, I was, and they was like, oh, okay, there go Eric. So then when they was putting the background singers together, they call out the girls. We're gonna use Sharina, we're gonna use Coco. Who we gonna get to sing background? What guy we gonna get? And then Reggie Levert, um, Eddie's brother, said, "What do you mean? What guy you gonna get?" They were Eric right there. They said, "Okay, yeah, Eric, you in." Just like that.
Just like that.
Just like that. Just like that. Because I was already part of the family,
Yeah.
and I was already singing around town. And so Gerald was like, "Okay, I need you close to me." And I sung background for the Father and Son tour. If you ever look at if you ever see that CD or that tape, you'll see I'm singing background, and then I leave off and I change clothes and I put on an OJ's uniform and I come out and do the OJ stuff. But I'm
Now you,
singing background the first half of the show.
now you know I'm gonna go back and look. When we done with this, I'm gonna
You
go back
gotta
and
see
look.
it. You ain't gonna believe it. You ain't gonna
I'm gonna
believe
go
it.
back and look. I'm
Because
gonna check it
I
out.
used to wear I would wear a hat. I would wear a hat and glasses on stage. And my cousin Sharina and Coco, the three of us would be singing background. And when Gerald get ready to do I Give Anything and Everything to Fall in Love, I would sneak off stage, go in the back, put on the OJ's uniform, and then come out with the OJ's.
Now you broke into the acting world and you debuted as an actor in the movie The Fighting Temptations. How was that for you?
That was it was fun. It was just fun. We spent 3 months in Atlanta doing that movie. And every day was just fun. I mean, and no, there was no egos. Well, it was one, but there was no egos, and everybody. I ain't
I'm
gonna,
sorry. I'm sorry. Go
I
ahead.
ain't gonna put, I ain't gonna put her on blast,
Don't
but
put on blast.
I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. But Beyonce was like one of the boys. I mean, Mike Epps. I mean, Montel Jordan, Melba Moore,
Hmm.
everybody. I mean, Shirley Caesar. Everybody was just family. It was and that's the reason why that movie feels good,
Hmm.
because when everybody helped everybody. The OJ's, you know, we kept majority of the people humble. Montel, along with Montel Jordan, he was very, very inspirational, keeping everything just family. Um, and then there was Shirley Caesar, and then Beyonce probably came in the door. She probably came in the door for about 3 days with a bodyguard and all of that diva stuff. But I promise you, by the end of the week, by that Friday, there was no bodyguard. There was no nothing. Beyonce would come to the set by herself, and she would do what she's supposed to do. Everything. Beyonce was by herself the entire time. She kicked it with us because there was no reason to have all of that.
Yeah.
Everybody was just cool. Everybody was cool. So she was like our sister. She was like our little sister. That's how Beyonce was with us.
That's what's up. Now, what would you say is your biggest and most rewarding or memorable performance yet to date?
It would probably be, it would probably be what performance wise, it would probably be the Essence Festival.
Mm,
I could say the Essence Festival because people can digest that, but my biggest performance was in front of 200,000 people in Amsterdam.
mm,
Actually, that was my
mm.
biggest and most memorable performance was in Amsterdam, and listening to all those people sing our songs back to back. Every song we sung, they sung.
Now, I've heard
But
that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, you go ahead. Go ahead.
I've heard that a lot of artists go overseas because the love and support is more so there than it is here. Is there some truth to that?
Yeah, it's absolute truth, 100% true. Because over there, in the UK, Amsterdam, those places, they have such a love for what I want to call real soul music, real
Yeah.
R&B soul music. So a lot of us, from the Jays to the Temptations to Stylistics, they all go over there because they listen. Listen, Miss Tabitha, I got mobbed in London like I was one of the Beatles.
Ooh,
Like I was one of the
that's a lot.
Beatles. I mean, they was waiting out. Remember back in the day when fans used to wait around the back door for
Yeah.
the artists to come out?
Yeah.
But that's how they was. That's how they was when we played London. They were waiting around the back door. And so when so I'm usually always the one to get dressed first. So when I got dressed and I went out there, they took my hat from me. They tried to rip my shirt. They was mobbing me. And I just stopped them. I just like, hey, listen, y'all don't have to do that. I'm gonna sign every autograph. I'm gonna take every picture. I'm gonna do all of that. That's what I told them, right? So when after they went crazy over me, I just knew what they was gonna do to Ed and Walt. I just knew they was done. But then Walter came out and they went crazy, and I never saw Eddie. I never saw Eddie. They mobbed him so bad. I never saw him.
Oh,
I saw him come down the step, and then I never saw him again. Never. I got in my car because we each had our own car. I got in my car and left. Never saw Eddie again.
oh,
So yeah,
sheesh.
you're right.
So
You're right.
that is some truth to that. I kept hearing that if I don't know. I guess I don't know. Is it because we're so used to you guys' music that or that we have you here? You were born here. The music was started here, and then I don't
I
know
don't think
what it
so.
is about. Go ahead.
I don't think that, Miss Tabitha. I think we're spoiled. I think we're spoiled, and we're not as loyal to the music as they are. We're not
Yeah.
as loyal to the artist or
Mm,
the artistry as they are. They
yeah.
really get it. They really get the artistry that really gets what it takes to make music. They really understand what originality is. Where here, you know, you might have the president of a record label may be 32 years old.
Mm,
He has no clue about the history. He just knows what his numbers should be. He just know
yeah.
that he needs to sell records by any means necessary so he can keep his job, so he can keep that black card, so he
Mm,
can get them girls, so he can have them the diamonds and hang out with Puffy and all of them. That's all he know. He just know he got to get the next one. He got to get the next hit. And if this person don't give him the hit, it's on to the next one. There's no development. There's no artist development. There's no, you know what I'm saying? Like back then, groups, artists used to sign 10-year contracts.
mm,
They used to sign 10-year contracts because labels felt like, well, if we don't get them on the first one and we don't get them on the second, we'll try to get them on the third one.
yeah.
Whereas now, if we don't get them on the first one, you are done.
Woo.
You're done. It's a wrap. You might as well go get a job. So there's no loyalty to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
None. And see, Back then, they wanted you to be seasoned. They would season you. They would send you through artist development. They would keep on until they got you a hit. If you ever if you ever listen to the Motown or look at the Motown story, you'll hear them actually say that the Temptations was called the Hitless Temptations, or the Supremes.
I remember.
You know, they played, they recorded so many songs and they never could get a hit on them, but they stuck with them. That's not
Mm,
how it is today. Today, you don't hit that lick off that one or that second one. It's a wrap. You're done. There's no loyalty in the music business no more. The Jays, the Jays was able to sustain because the Jays was came up in an era where Gambling Huff was going to keep on writing hits on them, and they were going to keep on doing, and they was going to keep on writing records. And if that record didn't hit, they immediately released another.
mm, mm. Goodness.
So
You
now you got a
go ahead.
now you got a body of work. Now you got a body of work. You got all of these records that withstand or withstood the test of time, where we able to go out and work and still feed our families and still, bring joy to people, even younger people. We see people at our concerts 19, 18, 25, 30 years old.
Mm, 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 mm.
I'm
Getting
just
that
saying,
good music.
yes, ma'am.
Now, when you got with the OJs, you in a past interview you mentioned something about when you came in the door, you thought you knew, you thought you had it going on, and nobody could tell you nothing. But you said that you learned how to be a man with that group. How so?
Um, I think because listen, we're being candid, okay?
Let's get it.
I I was raised around pimps, drug dealers, gangsters. So I knew how to hustle at 14. I never sold drugs because I had a conscience about drugs. Once I saw a lady die from drug use, I never wanted to sell nothing to anyone to kill them off. You know what I mean? So I always had a conscience about that. But I was in love with gambling. I was in love with shooting pool. I was in love with shooting dice, playing cards, all that kind of stuff. I was in love with whatever, carrying a gun and all that kind of stuff. I just thought all of that was part of being a guy, being a man. You know what I mean? So everything to me was like almost like being slick. You know what I'm saying? Like when I first got my first credit card, I said I said to my brother, I said, man, these dummies then gave me a credit card and gave me $500 free. That's how I looked at it. Like they gave me $500 free. You know what I mean? I didn't look at it like I can start, a credit thing, a credit, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So so me coming into the OJs, because I never really had a father figure around
Yeah.
me. I just had guys. Had guys that I looked up to that did certain different things. Everybody had something that they did that they brought to the table. So I looked up to them, and and that was all street. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I got around Eddie and Walt, even though Eddie and Walt has street knowledge and they're from the streets also, but they learned how to be a professional. They learned how to take care of their family. They learned how to be men and be husbands and be leaders of their family. And so I would pick their brains, and Walter, who I still think is one of the smartest men I ever met in my life, like in my whole entire life. He's like number one, two of the smartest men I ever met. And Eddie is like just a leader. He's just a leader, man. He has so much knowledge, and his knowledge is not it's not that fine-tuned book knowledge, you know what I'm saying, where they use these big words and you don't understand
Mhm.
what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you feel like a dummy for asking, well, what that mean? Well, Eddie don't Eddie don't explain it to you like that. explaining to you in real time. He explained it to you in layman's term where you understand it, and he gives you examples. So I got
Mm,
the best. I got best of the both worlds because Walter is so knowledgeable that he will articulate it. You know what I mean? Well, Eddie is a look, boy, you gonna this what's about to happen. I see what's about to happen to you. You about to hit that brick wall. Well, let me tell you what's about to. That's how Eddie is.
yeah.
Eddie is like that. And Walter is Walter said, well, this is what they mean. This is what Eddie is talking about. So yeah, they taught me how to be a man.
Mm,
I've learned more from them in 25 years than I've learned in a lifetime of growing up.
mm. Sheesh.
So that was
Well,
so
go
that
ahead.
was so that was so Miss Tabitha, that was what was see being in the OJs is okay. Being in the OJ is cool. Financially, you can be a little stable and you can travel and all that stuff. But that's not what I got out of it. That
Mm,
that became that became perks to me
mm.
because them raising me, that was the meat of it. You know what I mean? They
Sheesh.
raised me and then they didn't even know they was raising me. They raised me, and after they found out that they was raising me, probably about 15, 17 years later, then they just put their foot on the gas and just kept on making sure that I had wealth of knowledge because they want me to not they don't want me to carry the group, but they want me to be where they are.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Perfect sense.
Yeah, but that's what they want. They even though I'm not leading songs on the record, but as far as performance and knowledge and perseverance, they want me to be right there where they are.
Mm. So, being the youngest of the group, it had to present a few challenges. What kind of challenges did you face being the youngest, other than them grooming you to be where and how you were supposed to be?
Well, one, well, okay. When I first got in the group, they they didn't. When I first got in the group, they didn't even. I was just as you say, I was just a number. I was just a guy that was that had a job to do. And when I went on when I went on the tour, we have people that handles our bags, that gets our clothes, gets our suitcases, and they take them to the room, and everything is there when we get there. That's how the OJs roll. They don't touch nothing. Somebody handle all that for them. Not with me. They didn't touch my bags. They didn't take my bags to my room. I had to take my own bags to my room. And when we rode on the tour bus, and this part they didn't know, but when we rode on the tour bus, I couldn't get my bunk first. I had to let everybody get their bunk first before I got mine. But what they didn't know is that I grew up in a household. I grew up with two other brothers, and by me being the oldest, I slept on the top bunk.
Yeah.
But nobody on the tour bus wanted the top bunk. So I always got the top bunk. To this day, I got the top bunk. So I'm at home with the top bunk.
Yeah.
But I couldn't choose my bunk until everybody got theirs. Then I got mine. And I mean, they would do stuff. I mean, they would do stuff like, do you know they would do stuff like Eddie and Walt have not to this day, 25 years later, Eddie and Walt has not ever told me when my flight is. They have never called my phone and said, "Hey man, we got a flight next week, or we got a flight in 2 days." Never.
Well,
So
how do you
it was.
know?
It, I said, have to ask. I had to my first year or two. I had to ask when we performing again. Then they said, "Oh, you didn't know." They be like, "You didn't know," and so somebody from the band or somebody or the lady who makes our travel arrangements or something, they might tell me, but nobody was they wasn't used to me being in the group. They wasn't used to calling me and telling me anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my first year or two was woo, man. But see, Miss Tabitha, listen. I was so broke. I was so poor that all of it was a blessing to me.
Yeah.
All of it. They couldn't break me. Because one, let me tell you this. Now, one, I'm not on anything. I don't do drugs. I don't
Mhm.
drink. I don't smoke. I never did. So I'm not dependent on anything. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
you're not like gonna get like this guy with this crazy mentality because he high, or he acting out a certain way because he drunk. You ain't gonna never get that from me because I'm not dependent on anything. And the what they call the little money was big money to me. My first my listen, my first time going out, I was making $1,000 a week. Period.
Mhm.
No matter how many shows you do, we could do five, we could do two. No matter what we got, it was $1,000 a week. $1,000 a week, man, man,
No
rush it.
more puff wheat cereal. That's what that means.
That's what I'm saying. Rush it, rush it. I don't care. Everybody else was making all this money. That was like, man, you talking to
Yeah.
a person who wasn't making no dollars, and I get my own room, and I get per diem, and I get to travel. You ain't got to pick up my bags. I got it. I'll pick it up. I'll pick up the
And
bag.
I'll take the top bunk.
Yeah, and I take the that one. I mean, like, you can't beat me up. This is something I've been wanting to do for all my life, and probably maybe what was supposed to be a trying period. When we started working with Charlie Atkins, Pop Atkins, the choreographer, I was so intrigued with him. I wanted to be like him that I would take the tapes home to my apartment after rehearsal and
Mm.
and learn the routine. But then when I get to rehearsal, I would learn the real way how to do it. I would learn it my way, and then I would learn it the real way. You
Mhm.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a certain way your feet got to be positioned, a certain way your heel got to do heel toe, that kind of stuff. Because he's a tap dancer, so I would learn it my way, and then teach. Then I would learn the right way
Mm.
because I was a big student of Sammy Strain. When Sammy Strain was right before me, and
Mm.
Sammy Strain I just felt like was one of the best that ever did it. So I watched all the tapes of Sammy Strain, every tape of Sammy Strain. I watched it.
Mm. Mm. Sheesh. Goodness.
That's because see, like when I see these groups, that's the reason why I don't have. It's hard to talk to me about other singing groups because I know what a singing group entails. I know what a singing group's supposed to do. I know what they supposed. When I hear certain groups cheating, when I say cheating, I mean when I hear certain groups and their backgrounds is in the machine, I have no respect for those groups because the OJs we have to sing our notes whether we horse, hired, or dancing, whatever. We have to dance and get up to the microphone and sing and be on key.
Mm.
So when I see these other groups do that and put the background vocals in the box, I'm like, y'all okay, y'all ain't a real singing group. Y'all a dance group.
Mm. And that's a lot of that was one of my questions later on to ask you, how you felt about singing groups now that are using that as a method. And you just answered that for me.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't respect it.
Mm.
I wouldn't who feelings got hurt because at the end of the day, Miss Tabitha, I ain't telling a lie. I ain't telling a lie. I'm telling you, you dancing and you coming up to the microphone and that's what you're doing. You just moving your mouth. That's all you're doing. Everything is in the machine. That machine break, game over. You're gonna
Mm.
have to say, due to technical difficulties. What? Ain't no technical difficulties if you're a singing group. If you're a singing group, you should be able to do that. You should be able to do that with a light and a mic.
That's right. That's right.
And if you got a piano player or guitar player, long as he playing, long as some music is being played, you should be able to sing. Can't
Mm,
do that with the OJays, baby. You can put the OJays anywhere in front of anything. But you know what? We did a couple of dates because they don't like track dates. So we would do a couple of dates where they want us to do a track, and we just bring our piano player and we sing. That's what you're gonna get. So
that's
when
because
I
y'all a real group. That's what
that's
y'all
what I'm
do.
saying. That's what we do. That's what
Ooh,
we do. I mean, we sing for real. The Temptations, they sing for real. They sing for real. Them guys are singing for real.
mm, mm, mm.
I I'm just telling you, no chaser. We sit up. I mean, we if we hit a flat or a sharp note, you just getting the realness. If you hear somebody hoarse, you just getting the real. I seen Eddie Levert sing an entire show hoarse in Brooklyn, New York. I have
Mm,
no respect, no group that can sit up there and have it in the box.
mhm.
I just don't. It's not that I don't like them. It's
Yeah,
not that I don't enjoy their performance. I said I don't have no respect for they craft
the method that they're using versus how you
method.
guys,
That's
came up and
that's a
how
better
you were doing
word.
it. So I understand. Absolutely. I understand.
That's a word. That's a better word. The method. I don't have no respect for the method. Right.
Yeah. Okay. I understand that. Rightfully so. Now, you guys had a farewell tour. Tell me that had to be emotional for you along with everybody else in the group. How was that for you guys?
The emotion. It was emotional when I heard about it because when I heard about it, it was it was Eddie being Eddie. It was Eddie. It was it was Eddie Levert feeling some kind of way, saying that this is it for us. And me and Walt was looking at each other like, "What? This is it?" We were like, "What?" Yeah, man, this is it, man. We 2020 is it for us. We gonna call it. I'm like, oh shit. Well, hey, man, hold up a minute. Hold up, bro. Let's talk about this.
Wait a minute. We need to talk.
I didn't. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? Because I've been spending money and I ain't really saved like that. Hold on, man. give me a, give me a heads up so I can save all my little money. So it was emotional, but what happened was COVID.
Mm,
We didn't really get a chance to do a full farewell tour because you remember COVID came in 2020.
yeah,
That was the
yeah.
tour we were supposed to do. So we never got a chance to do the tour. Matter of fact, when the tour was supposed to start, we did 2 dates down south in Memphis and in Biloxi. And that was February 28th, 29th. We were supposed to start then. And then COVID hit. So we never got a chance to really do the full tour.
Mm,
So so now we just waiting for things to open back up and we're gonna tour, but I think we're gonna do another 2 years. I think it's gonna be 2 years because now, you know, uh see when you interview me, I don't know what kind of answers people think they're gonna get from me because I don't know how to do the Hollywood answer thing. So so I just have to tell you like it is.
that's what I'm
We
looking for.
we've been living off our bank accounts.
Mm,
So we got to replenish those bank accounts.
mm,
Just
goodness.
saying. So now we got to go to work and
Yeah.
we're gonna be working a lot. We're gonna be working a lot and I would I would say that we're gonna do another 2 years at the least.
Yes.
At the least. That's the least. And they so want to work so bad. They want to work so bad,
Oh,
along with me, but the hunger of them wanting to sing is so refreshing because I guess because I see these guys and they still they still got hunger. They still, I mean, like they just started. Like they just started. They still want to do like tours like they 38 years old.
They miss it. They miss the crowds.
Yes,
They miss
they
the
do. They do.
ladies. They miss all that good stuff. Rightfully so.
They do.
That's what's up. Now, whose idea was it to call it? What you guys call it? The last word? Was that Eddie's idea?
Mm-mm.
Whose idea was
No,
it?
I think that was I think that was the record label, the record company BMG that they signed with.
Mhm.
I think that whole thing was orchestrated by them. So that's why they called it the last word, because it was really supposed to did a farewell tour.
Yeah.
So that's why
Okay.
they called it.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Makes perfect sense. No, it's self-explanatory for me anyway. Um, Now on to you. You have a solo jazz project titled Mood Swing. Tell me about this project.
Um, and you asked some really good questions because there's stories behind that kind of stuff. The mood swings, the mood swing CD. First of all, the title came up because I'm a Cancer and because I'm moody.
Oh, well, listen. Listen now, and now if there wasn't fans on here, I end this interview right now with the cancers. That Go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish though. Just know I got.
I'm, I'm a Cancer, so I'm moody. So every time I came into the studio, I was basically in a different mood, and I wanted to do different songs. But I
Mhm,
wanted, but I'm a huge fan of Will Downing and
mhm,
Walter Beasley and Michael Franks. Like Michael Franks, Christopher Cross, Walter Beasley, and Will Downing those are the core of people that excited me into doing this type of music.
mhm,
Now, when I went into the studio, I felt like somebody. I felt like either Michael or I felt like Will or somebody, and I wanted to do that kind of music. So if you listen to Mood Swing, no song sounds the same. All the songs are different,
mhm,
completely different. There's not nothing like this one sounds like that one is nothing. Everyone is different. Okay, now I have a record label called Boy Wonder Records. I was trying to get a distribution deal.
mhm,
So I was going to release the other artists that we did. We did an artist called G Man, Nahamian Billy Rich. That's like a throwback from Last Night and Dapper. So I was trying to get a distribution deal by releasing them. They're more R&B. But a gentleman said, you need to put out a record on yourself since you have the name recognition. You have name recognition. So that's why Mood Swing came out because I was trying to get a distribution deal. Now, it
mhm.
wasn't for me to be a solo artist per se.
Uh-huh.
Now, when Reminds Me did what it did, I said, hey, some people they look like they like me us a little bit. So
A little
let's
bit.
try to keep on, let's try to keep this going a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And then it became a solo, then I became a solo artist because I was getting work. I got a couple of gigs, I got a couple of dates, and I did decent with the dates. So I said, okay, when the OJs call it a day, when Eddie and Walt call it a day, I don't want the OJs. I don't want the group. I just feel like Eddie and Walt is irreplaceable. I'm not going to replace them. I don't want to do any of that kind of stuff. Um, but I still have to make a living. So let me start putting out records now, and hopefully one to catch on. And if one catch on, then cool. If one catch on or two catch on, I can go to work and I can still, survive.
Mm,
I put out two more records after Mood Swing. I put out On My Way and In My Life.
mhm,
So On My Way On My Way did way better than I thought it would do. In My Life is still kind of like, just chugging along. But On My Way did really, really, really good. So
mm.
it was a stumble into that. It wasn't something I said, I want to be a solo artist. It was never that. It was me trying to get a distribution deal.
Hmm. Well, you are you have an upcoming project, another solo project that you've been working on. Um, your life story entitled "I Am My Brother's Keeper." Can you tell me something about that, or is still under wraps for the moment?
It's not under wraps, Miss Tabitha. It's not under wraps. I went to Atlanta to meet with some people about about two other movie ideas that I came up with.
Mhm.
And when I went to Atlanta to pitch these movie ideas, that's when the producer asked me. She said, "Tell me something about yourself." And when I got to telling her, she cut on a tape recorder, and I was just telling her my life, and I was telling her some of the stuff like I told you, how I came up, and the people, And when I got finished telling her, she was crying. She was crying, and she said, "That's a biopic." She said, "That's a movie." I said, "Oh, I don't nobody want to know about my life. Nobody want to hear about that. I want to hear about no." She's like, "That's what we need. That's what we want." And so they went and started writing it, and they screen wrote it, and then the lady, Wendy Peterson, who I had running Boy Wonder Records, she does books, and when she read the story, she said, "This needs to be a book. We need to put this in a book form." And so she put it in a book form. And as I'm talking to you today, they're still they're still trying to get I Am My Brother's Keeper off the ground. That is a story about my life before the Jays with my brother. Just to give you a quick synopsis,
Mhm.
my brother had became a drug dealer and was looking out for me. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Because I was still trying to sing, and then he got hooked on drugs. And when I became an OJ, I started looking out for him.
Mm.
Gerald Gerald came up, um, kind of like idolizing my group, thinking that we were going to be the next ones to make it out of Cleveland. And Gerald was the one that wound up making out. So Gerald was looking to me to bring him into the game.
Mhm.
Gerald wound up bringing me into the game.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where the title "I Am My Brother's Keeper" came from.
Yeah, that's gonna be phenomenal. Of course, people need to hear that. Yes, absolutely. Goodness, that's a
We're
heck
gonna
of a
see.
story. That's a
We're
heck
gonna
of a
see.
story. You have what's next up for you? What are you working on these days? What you got going on?
I got a new single coming out, hopefully this spring. Um, but I've been really into this radio thing. I like radio. I I
Yeah.
I, I love it. I like this radio thing. Uh, I don't think that's what's next for me,
Mhm.
but I do want to keep doing radio because and they gave me my own show, and the way they gave it to me was they said, "We want your format. We don't want a format that's already been heard. We want your ideas, your format. You just do what you do." And they just gave me the ball and let me run with it. And I had them to teach me how to run the board. I had
Mhm.
them teach me how to produce and all of that stuff. So I produce my own show. I engineer my own show, and every song that you hear me play comes from my head. It don't come from nowhere else. Like I don't even I come in there. I may come into the station, and I might have one song in mind, and that's my opening song. That's the only song I have in mind. Other than that, I'm ad libbing after that. I'm hearing different sonics, and I'm hearing different chords, and I'm hearing
Mhm.
different music that remind me of other music, and I just play behind it. I just keep on. I stack it up. I've been doing it for a year now.
Mhm.
So so the movie thing is what they're trying to do that.
Mhm.
I got a new single coming out this spring. I, the only reason why I haven't told you the title is because I don't know which one they're gonna pick.
Okay.
Um, I like personally, I like a song that I did entitled ASAP, as soon as possible. I want to see you as soon as possible. I like that song because it's organic and it's it has the same vibe, not the same tempo, but the same vibe as the new Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak song. It has
Oh,
the same
wait.
it has the same vibe. It's got that crispy, that school, that vintage sound, that crispy vintage. It's just a feel good song. And the radio and the Jays, we looking to go back to work, and hopefully people will come out, because I think this next 18 months to 2 years, I think this is the last hurrah.
Hmm. Well, they're gonna
That's
come. Y'all are the OJs, for goodness sakes. Oh yeah. Oh, you'll have them. They'll be there. I'll be there.
what. What city are you in?
I'm in Columbia, South Carolina.
Are you for real?
I am.
That's cool. That's cool. That is
Oh,
so
why you say?
cool. Huh?
Why you say? You been here?
Yeah. And I got friends. Matter of fact, like I said, the girl who used to run my station.
Yeah.
I mean station. Girl who used to run my record label. She moved down that way. But
Okay.
I was thinking about actually moving to Charlotte down that way.
Okay. That's
Is
not
that
too
is that
bad.
far from you? Is that far from you?
No, it's a little over about an hour. That's about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was thinking about coming down there and moving to Charlotte. Cause man, that Bojangles,
Now
that Bojangles make you want to just relocate.
that ain't good for that's gonna give you high blood pressure. You come down here eat too
I
much of
hear you. I ain't gonna eat too much of it. I just like it when I come down there.
that. Listen, I'm gonna ask you the question I ask everybody that I interview. If you could look a younger Eric Nolan in the mirror right now today, what would you say to him?
Save your money, pay your taxes, and leave them girls alone.
Well said.
Leave them girls alone, boy. Get you
Leave them
one, get
girls
you one,
alone.
get you one good one, or one great one, or one that's good for you.
And
That's what
leave
I
the
would.
rest of them.
I'm trying to tell you. That's what I would tell the young Eric. Man, save your money, pay your taxes, and leave them girls alone.
Rightfully so. Um, we're going to listen. Tell me, tell everybody how they can get in touch with you. How to not necessarily get in touch with you, but maybe say hello or see what you got coming up, new projects. How can they find you on social media?
Um, the main place is my Instagram. I am Eric Nolan. My Facebook, Eric Nolan, and we have a site called Eric's Room. Eric's Room.net. That's where all of the whatever I got going on is going to be on Eric's Room.net. But
Okay.
to get in touch with me and just chit chat, you can inbox me on Instagram. I answer almost everything. Almost. I don't answer no disrespectful stuff, but when I say disrespectful, I'm not saying like a person disrespect me, because nobody has
Yeah.
ever came on, nobody's never DM me and been disrespectful. Like never. But I'm saying like inappropriate stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
understand.
I don't answer that stuff.
Well, listen, I'm nowhere near as famous as you are, and clearly you respond and send out messages. Just some folks, I'm some folks, they don't respond. Listen, don't laugh at me. I feel so
You
bad
don't
that you had
answer.
to tell me
You
about
don't
myself.
answer.
Y'all
You
missed it in
don't
the
answer
beginning. You
like a
told me all the
superstar.
way off.
You don't answer like a superstar. I mean, can't nobody get to you? You ain't gonna answer nobody.
I'm
I mean,
behaving like one already, huh?
You're a superstar. You know, I was like, she ain't answer me.
I didn't
Yeah,
see. Listen, y'all. Let me tell y'all what he did when he first came on. The first thing he said, "Where you been?" I well, I didn't know what to say. I've been right here. I've been trying to get my face together, but that's it. Why?
I checked. I checked that message all the way to 15 minutes after 4. I was like, she did not answer me.
Oh Lord, I'm so sorry. Hair and makeup in my defense. I'm so sorry. That won't happen again. I'm
You
so
lucky. You lucky you got dimples.
that'll get me out of it. There it is. It'll get me out of some
Every
stuff
time. Every time.
now. Listen, Mr. Nolan, listen, I want to tell you thank you so very, very much for spending your time with me on today and sitting down and discussing your life, your projects, and what you have going on. I can't thank you enough for your time because it's very valuable to me. I thank you again so much for joining me on today.
Oh, I've had fun, man. I enjoyed it. You are a great host. You ask great questions, and you I just think this is a great platform. I think you've done good with your platform. I saw that you did my friend Lenny, and I saw
Yes.
you did my other buddy Steve from Troop.
Yes.
Steve cut my hair before.
He can cut
Before I
hair.
was in the yeah, he's a barber. He used to cut all of their hair. He cut all of the troops' hair
Oh, you
when they
done
was
told
wearing
his
them crazy
business. I know
designs.
that's right.
When they was wearing them crazy designs and those parts and all that stuff,
Yeah.
that was all Steve. That was all him. That was all him. And when I remember coming to the studio and they was up there and they was doing that's my attitude. Gerald had did a couple of records on them. It was at the studio and he was cutting hair and Steve cut my hair. I wasn't even in the OJs then. He was just a cool ass guy. He was just like he didn't have no, he wasn't doing the star thing or none of that. I wasn't like I said, I wasn't in the OJs. I was just, me and Gerald was just tight. And he cut my hair.
Huh.
No, he wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? He was not uppity, arrogant. He was the most humblest guy you could ever talk to. And he was the lead singer. And Aaron, him and Alan, they was the
Yeah.
lead singers and they was just cool. Just cool guys. John was cool. I mean, all of them was just cool guys. Yep, Steve cut my hair before.
Well, you done told
he
him
can
I'm a
tell
messenger.
you,
Somebody told me you cut hair, sir.
he was a barber. He can cut hair for real.
For real, for real. You know when you say it twice, that means it's serious now.
Yeah, for real. I'm telling
For
you.
real, for real.
Yeah, yeah.
Mr. Nolan, I'm not going to keep you no more. Again, I want to thank you so very, very much for sitting down with me today on In My City, and I hope that you stay safe and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Likewise, and anytime, man, with something new happen or something you hear about, you want me back on here, I'm on here.
I'm gonna reach out to you now. Listen, don't do me like I did you. You got to respond to me now. I know you owe
Oh
me
no, no,
one,
no!
but
I got to do you like you did me at least one,
I'm
at
gonna
least
give.
one.
Hey, she got mad. I'm gonna send you the mad face. Is what I'm gonna do.
I wouldn't do you like that. I wouldn't do you
That's
like
what's up. Take care.
that. What was you saying now?
I said that's what's up. Take care. Oh, we're done for today. You trying to hang? Don't be trying to hang around with me.
Okay, you take care
All
of
right.
yourself.
Absolutely. You too.
Okay, love.
And there you have it, you guys. That was Mr. Eric Nolan, singer, songwriter, actor, all of those great things. He is phenomenal. You know, sometimes we go over time, but I don't rush them because this is what I do. This is why I'm here is to sit down and talk with them and make them feel at home to talk so they can spill some beans, some juices, some all that good stuff, tell us what's going on. And just like the other day when we had Lenny Williams sing a little something, that's what they do when they're comfortable with the host. And that's going to do it for me today. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all right now, Monday, oh, we got another killer show, another killer interview on Monday on In My City. Miss Shirley Murdoch. Yes, yes, yes. All y'all old school, I'm bringing the heat. I'm trying to tell you. Let me tell you, you got to get to them because these are the foundation. You got to get to the foundation. If you're trying to get to the top of the building, you got to start at the bottom. And that's where we're going with the foundation, the founding members of all this good music you hear out here today. On Monday, join me. Shirley Murdoch will be in the building. Take care. And that's going to do it for In My City. Bye, you guys.